Hey, what's up guys? Gangsta Driller here. So today we're going to be working on a ring that, hang on just a second, there we go. We're going to be working on a ring that we need to size. Now this shank is already pretty small, kind of thin. So we're not going to do too much grinding on that. But we're sizing it to an 11. And we are currently sitting at like 11 3/4 on the money. So with that said, first thing we are going to do is we need to mark. So we're taking about we're going 3/4 sizes down. So let's go ahead and mark our 3/4 size, and we're just going to make 2 lines. Hit push hard, mark your 2 lines. Okay, and then if you have a jeweler saw, go ahead and use the jeweler saw. You know, a lot of people are going to say, oh, use the saw, use the clippers. It really doesn't matter. The end result's usually the same. So, now I don't know if you guys can see the 2 lines there. Hopefully you can. We're going to cut there. And we're going to cut there. Okay. Now the piece is very, very minute. Very, very minute. So now we got our piece cut. Now what we need to do is we need to file these each side down. Now I know some of these videos might be a little repetitious, but repetition is everything in this. The more you do it, the more you get it drilled in your head, the better you get. And repetition is everything. Like I said, I've been doing this almost 30 years now, so it takes time. But with patience and practice, it's not too difficult. Well, I say it's not too difficult. It gets easier. But as you've seen on some of these repairs that I've had to do, sometimes it still is a little difficult. Not everything's going to be easy. Now we're going to take our crimpers, and we want to meet. We're going to an 11. So we were 11 3/4. We marked our spot, or marked our 2 lines. We went ahead and got that little bit out. And now we're taking our crimpers, and we need the ring to meet flush together. Okay, we are almost there. Okie dokie. Now those diamonds will clean up a little bit, but they're kind of like champagne diamonds. So that's kind of just the way they look. Alright, I think we are ready to weld. We're together. We're a little oblong right now, but once we get it welded, then we can straighten it out and get it to an 11. Let's go ahead and set ourselves up here. Get us some boric acid denatured alcohol here. Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to, I need to put some in there. I'm starting to run a little low here, but we got some for now. All right. Hang on just a second, I gotta put this away. And we are going to switch to a 5 tip. I got a 4 on here now. So let's switch to the 5. That's a 3. That's a 5. Got us a little bit of a flame going here. Let's go ahead and burn that boric acid denatured alcohol off of there. Get it heated up real good. Let's adjust our flame up a little bit. And let's go ahead and put our flux on, because we aren't welding shit with no flux. And like I said, I like to use Aquaflux, but there's plenty of different fluxes out there to use that you can use. Cut us a piece of solder here. And this is yellow gold, so we're using yellow gold. And you always want to make sure you're using the right carat. You know, if you got 10 carat, use 10 carat. You got 14, use 14. You can also use 14 on 10 if you don't have any 10. You just want to use the same or higher. Okay. And now for the fun part. Question is, can we solder this without dropping the solder? That's a good question, because I don't know if I've made a video yet where I haven't actually dropped solder. For some reason it just does not want to stay on the pick when I'm trying to do it. I don't know if it's because I'm filming as well. I have no idea. We're just going to heat this up just a little bit. Heat it up just a little bit. Get that flux to burn off just a little bit. We're going to drop our solder on there. We need a little bit more heat. We need more fire. Okay. And like I always say, it's always good to start with a small flame. If you don't have enough heat, and go up, then to have a big flame. Than to have a big flame and burn your piece up. That makes for a bad day. And you see our solder starting to flow. It's trying to flow. Still need some more heat. More fire. And torch size will come with practice. You know, the more you do it, you'll know what tip to use for what piece, what size flame you want to use. That just comes with practice. Okie dokie. I think our piece went through, but I'm kind of not happy with the way it went through. So we're going to put one more piece through there. I want to just be sure, because this is a fairly thin shank on this ring. And it probably needs to reshank it maybe at some point, but not right now. And that's just me being picky. It really doesn't necessarily need a new shank. But the jeweler in me is saying, you need a new shank. You know? But nothing major. Alright, I believe we are welded. Let's cool this sucker off. We got diamonds, so we're not worried about shattering them. Remember, if you don't have diamonds, you don't, when it's hot like that, you don't want to stick it right in water, or you're going to come out with some shattered stones, some CZs. If you got CZs in there, or any gemstones. Remember, I made a video about which stones can take heat and which stones can't. And if you haven't watched that one, you want to check that one out, because that's a handy piece of information you need to have. Let's go ahead and turn our torch off. And you can see now we got her welded. Now let's try to round this out just a tad. We're shooting for 11. And you know what? We are pretty close to an 11 as it is. Now let's file this inside down a little bit, because we got a little bit of a hump there. So let's grind some of that out just a tad, make it a little more flush, and then we can finish rounding it out. Okay. And we're just going to file the inside down now. And we're just trying to get the inside even. Okay, and we're just hitting it with the rubber mallet. Remember, we're not using a ball peen hammer. We're not trying to smash the ring. Let's file this inside a little more. Alright, now we got that inside fairly nice and even now. On the inside at least. And remember, this tank is a little bit not very wide and not very thin, so you only want to grind it down till it's even. You want to try not to go any further than that. Okay? So now let's check our size here. We are almost kind of right at 11. It's kind of like a tight 11. And it's about right on the money there. We're not gonna do any more tapping though. I'm not lying, I'm gonna do a little bit here. But we're not gonna do a whole lot more tapping because by the time we polish and clean this, it's gonna sit right on an 11. Right now it's like a tight 11. So let's go ahead and finish this top part here. Grind that down a little bit. Switch some wheels here. Yeah, sorry I hadn't uploaded a video in a minute, guys. It's just real life's been kind of getting in the way, you know, having to go to daughters' plays and stuff and different things. So, you know, family comes first. You know how that is. But I appreciate you guys hanging around with me. Alright, now we're gonna take our metal file here, and we're going to kind of run just along the edges here, kind of smooth these edges out a little bit so we don't have a sharp jagged edge there. And we're going to kind of run it across the top here. Remember, you don't have to push hard, just very lightly run it across. All right, now let's go ahead and smooth the inside of the ring here. Okay, we got that inside looking fairly good. Glazed out anyway. Alright, let me zoom you guys back out for a second here. Alright guys, let's check our size now real quick. So we are right at about 11, guys. We're at 11. Okay, now what we need to do is go ahead and smooth the top here and smooth the sides. So we need to switch our wheel here. And we're using silicone wheels. Silicone wheel on the inside, silicone wheel on the outside and the sides. And I prefer using black, which is kind of like a medium grade silicone wheel, to smooth the rings out. Now, something I like to look out for, and this is just a good thing to check out. Remember one video we had to tighten the stones, we sized the ring, but the stones were already loose? The vibration from the flex shaft, I always, when I'm doing the sides, I look at the stones, because the vibration, if the stones were loose, you'll see them rattle around inside, but these stones are nice and tight. Now there was another video I did where we sized the ring down to a 5, and the stones were already loose before we started, but I wanted to go ahead and size it before we had to tighten the stones because they were already loose. But just always keep that in mind, the vibration of the flex shaft. If you have any loose stones, you'll see them rattling around inside there. And you can see, these are all nice and tight. They're not moving. So, just something to keep in mind. Nice little tip. And basically what we're doing is we're just getting most of the major scratches out of it. Getting a lot of the big scratches out. Alright, we got the top pretty much done. Let's do the sides now. Got some pretty deep scratches there on the side. You can see there versus over here. Okay, we're almost where we want to be. Now normally I would use a file to file the sides down, a metal file. But being that this shank is already fairly on the thin side, we don't want to grind any more of that out. So I'm making it even with the silicone wheel, little by little. Let's flip it to our other side now. Boy, that is a fairly thin shank there. Yeah, like I said, it's good for a while, but you know, gold does wear over time. And somewhere at some point that will have to be addressed down the road. Alright guys, I think we've got ourselves an 11 ring here. Let's check the, see what that is. Oh, okay, makes sense. Let's see where we're at on the size meter here. We are an 11. And we are an 11. 11 on the money. Alright. So now that we got that done, we got our shank all smoothed out. Let's go drop this in the ultrasound real quick. I'll drop that in the bottom. And y'all can see my green pool, and you can see the shitty weather that we're having. Look at this crap. You know, it's nice and cool though. Yeah, so what happened to my pool is when Hurricane Irma come through, the water from the river actually came. Let's see, I don't know if you guys can see that. You can see the river there. The water actually come up and submerged the whole pool, and you couldn't even see the pool from the river water. And yeah, that's what happened to the pool. And quite honestly, I ain't got 20 grand to put another pool in there, so I got my own little like fishing pond. Because you know, when the river water came up, you know, when it finally receded, there was freaking turtles and fish from the river in my pool, and they're probably still in there. So yeah, I go fishing out in my backyard in two places now. Let's see what this is looking like. Damn, wind's getting strong. Getting windy. Alright. Stick this in the water. Dry this sucker off. That's my old plating machine right here. I've had that for ever. And it's been a nice machine. Alright, I think we are ready to go buff now. Yep, you can get the paper towel off of there. Yep, inside looks good. Alright, let's head over to the buffer. Let's get ourselves some power. Get us some polishing rouge on here. You see how nice and shiny that's coming out. Ooh, boy, that looks good, don't it? Sorry, guys. Adjust the camera a little bit. Looking good, looking good. And essentially all this buffing is doing, when you're buffing, is it's staining the metal to give it that shine look. It's basically all the rouge is doing. That is all it's doing. Okay, let's flip to the other side now. Alright. It's starting to look like a ring. Okay. Now let's go over and let's do the inside real quick. And the rain is here now. Alright guys, I think we've got this polished inside and out. So let's go ahead and I'm going to go drop this into ultrasound and then we'll come back and look at the finished product, guys. Be right back. Alright guys, we're back with that ring. You can see we got it all cleaned and polished. And I already got fingerprints and shit all over it. But we got it nice and polished and shiny. I'm trying to keep all the crap off of it, if I can. But we got it sized to an 11 from 11 3/4. And we got that done. This shank, like I said, at some point it's probably going to have to be reshanked, or the ring's going to have to be reshanked at some point down the road, but that'll be later down the road. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys. If you'd like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you'd like to leave a tip or donation, the link for that will be down in the description, although that is not required. It just helps the channel grow. And also, if you'd like for me to do your repairs, the link for that will be down in the description in my Etsy shop. And also, if you're looking to buy jewelry in the Jacksonville area, I highly recommend Money Miser on Blanding Boulevard. Those are my go-to guys as far as jewelry is concerned, especially if you're looking to buy some for Christmas. And if not, if you're going to be ordering online and you're not in the Jacksonville area, I recommend Stellar Jewelry. I'll have the link for that down in the description as well. They have some awesome online jewelry there. But if you're in the Jacksonville area, I highly recommend Money Miser. But this is the Gangster Jeweler, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.